Hey tubes. Jonathan was wrong. Truth on the budget. How we doing? So anyway, real quick. I just had a random thought. Now, the whole I don't know, truth movement, whatever you want to call it, once again still reminds me of that what's his face, Corey Feldman's band in the 80s or 90s, something. It's something that sounded like truth movement. Anyway, blah blah blah. Because Corey Feldman's a truther. He's gonna expose Hollywood. He just needs $15 million to do it. Because he's gonna do it through a movie. Anyway, sorry. So I was just having a thought. So, how many are us do you think there actually are? I mean, actual, people who aren't in this for the, the sensationalism, aren't people who are just like, oh, the Earth's flat. Oh no, now it's concave. Oh no, now it's, this. People who, are actually in the know. And the numbers are, really, really low, because I feel like a lot of people in, who are into this sort of stuff aren't, really actually into it. They're just looking for something else. And if something else comes along that is new and exciting, they're just going to jump onto it. I mean, just because I don't really talk about the Earth being flat all that much, it's because why? Why do I need to? It's dead. It's old news. It's flat and stationary. There's nothing else to talk about. If you want to debate something, or if I see something that is just so dumb, it's like, hey, here's a good example. But if you use that stuff to try to, like a Polaris, I think Polaris is the most damning piece of physical evidence that there could possibly be, because the Earth is spinning on an axis, and it's spinning around the sun, and the sun's, everything's spinning and spinning and spinning and flying through space, but Polaris is always in the same spot. No, just no. But the fact that people literally can't wrap their heads around it. I make a diagram as best I can with the technology I have, and people can't wrap their heads around it because NASA has computer graphics, and that's easier. And it's troubling, because you got to wonder how incapable people are of thinking. It's scary. It is scary that you could give someone real information that should challenge what they believe in, but they just disregard it and then are like, oh, you can't answer one question. For every one thing that the flat Earth model can't quite figure out, because we don't know. Because we can't fly around and look. We don't have access to that, which is irritating too. It's like, oh, you guys, yeah, because we're blacklisted. You can't just build a flying machine and then fly around the world and take a look. It's illegal. Look into it. You want to become a pilot? You got to go through. You got to have some money, and you got to go through some channels, and it's not an immediate thing. And I guarantee every pilot has to take some sort of oath. They have to. Because you wouldn't even be able to fly a plane unless you knew that the Earth was flat and stationary. If you were trying to navigate a spinning ball, you would just I think that's what happens to all the amateur amateur flyers, amateur sailors. They get horribly lost using a round Earth map. And they don't know where they are or where they're going because they don't have a real map. And it's interesting because if you look at the nautical map, it's a flat Earth map. If you look at the UN symbol, it's a flat Earth map. If you go onto the Navy the Navy's version of Google Earth. It's flat. Everything's flat. It's flat everywhere. Yeah, this wasn't even the topic that I wanted to talk about. So this is a good time for a break. I'm gonna run in the store real quick. All right, 1 second, please. The funny thing about making a video and forgetting that you're making a video is you get back into your car, and then suddenly you're looking at yourself in your phone, and it's like, ah! So I forgot I was making a video. Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, I was just wondering, because there's a huge anti-reality movement coming out of England. I'm hearing a lot of British, British accented, be them New Zealand, Australia, South Africa. I don't care. You're all the same to me. I'm like joking, but not really. But anyway, I've just been hearing a lot of anti-reality coming out of there. So it just makes me think, like, okay, so the Americans are all nuts. The American truthers we're all crazy people. We're all a bunch of Alex Joneses. That's how we're all they had was David Icke, and David Icke's been a joke his whole career. David Icke has never not been a joke, except for his few loyal cult members or whatever. But David Icke has always been a joke. I mean, Alex Jones was always kind of a joke too, but he also kind of had, he didn't. There's a little more reality in what he was doing, because Alex Jones would actually touch on real things that were happening and then just not talk about them, just scream incoherently and just rant and rave about nothing and not actually talk about the topics. He just we have a lot to cover today. We have a lot to cover today, and he'll rattle off a few headlines, and you'd want to like, let's hear your thoughts on these headlines, dude. And then it'd be, oh, the globalists, and it just it doesn't go anywhere. Whereas David Icke's like, oh, intergalactic reptilians run the world, and it's like I don't know, just So you just got to think, like, how many people actually, and also like these people in like other countries, where are they getting their their slice of truth? Where are they getting their slice of reality from? Where the who's covering France? Who's covering Germany? Who's covering Russia? As far as I can tell, there's no one coming out of these places. The closest I saw was one of those convex Earth people doing a fakey Russian accent that he kept slipping in and out of during a long interview. So that's not a once again, the whole concave thing is fake. If every person doing it is an operative and you don't have any real information about it, it's fake. There are flat Earth operatives for sure. Eric Dubay, RV, Russian vids, all operatives. But they're like a deeper level Alex Jones, basically, where it's like they'll kind of touch on it, then they won't really talk about anything. Like Russian vids is like famous for like he just he'll start talking about something, and then he'll just go nuts on the numerology and just spend the next half hour, 45 minutes talking about how everything adds up to like 9/11 and crap like that. It's just regardless of whether or not it is there or not, it doesn't matter. The thing with numerology too is it is so malleable that you could really take anything and then just like like, oh well, this if you take this, you divide it by that, you add this, you go dip, which is why I'm not a fan of numerology, because math is stupid. Math is protean. Math is malleable. It is not constant. It is not exact. So it does not matter. I don't care what you could take, what you can do with numbers. It is meaningless to me because numbers don't have a meaning. Once you're getting into numbers that are so high that they don't represent anything in reality, it's a non-point, and that's what they do to confuse these people. I always think about Stalin. Stalin saying one death is a tragedy, 1 million deaths a statistic. When you give people these astrological numbers, they are so stupid that they just they shut off. They can't wrap their heads around it, so they just accept it. And it's like for someone like me, I can't understand that. If something doesn't make sense to me, I want to figure it out. I want to know. I want to know what's going on. It seems like with most people, they can't figure out what's going on. It's just they're just like, I'll just go back to what I already know. I don't know. But it's troubling to think that throughout the world, we're it. I can think of, like, once again, no offense to anybody, I can think of like one guy in Australia who was probably legit. I can think of one guy in England who's probably legit, even probably more legit than the dude from Australia. But it's just, I don't know. You just gotta wonder. There's not, obviously there's few of us that actually know what's going on, especially as people move further away from the Bible. Which, if you want any insight into truth and reality, and you're doing it alone, one of the few things that we have is the Bible. Because it really tells you everything that you need to know. You don't really need to know much else. It tells you how the earth was made. It tells you how you were made. It tells you why you were made. And tells you what to do. Do we really need any more information? Not really. Not for, what is necessary. But anyway. I don't know. Am I wrong? Is there a wealth of reality seekers in other countries? Because as far as I can tell, all other English speaking places or countries are just very dull. Their minds aren't very bright. They're very blasé. They think they know everything already, it's like the thing that they did with nerds was kind of brilliant, where they kind of made this subculture of, sorry, my car sounds bad. I'm just like, is that my car? Just this collection of very negative, self-righteous, think they're a genius people, and they have their own little heroes to tack themselves onto, I don't know. It's just troubling because the way I see things swing, that things are gonna swing back the other way very soon. I'll probably always be around because I'm just such a small fish. They're not gonna, they take the time to monitor me, that's for sure. But I'm never gonna make it. I'm never gonna be a threat. I'm never gonna be a big enough threat. Whatever. Does that make me feel safe or whatever? No, I would rather be a threat. I would rather they be terrified of me. I would rather they be, plotting my doom. I would rather be effective, even if it meant my death. So I couldn't care less. I'm not afraid to die. Dying means meeting God. I'm all for it. Anyway, got a little off topic for a second. I don't know if I was making a point at some point, but anyway, blah blah blah, it's about it. I I mean, tell me what you guys, if you guys know anyone from, at any other reality seekers. I don't like the term truther. I'm kind of done with it. I like the term reality seekers and reality deniers. It's more of a mouthful, but it's what it is. I think it actually, because the truth can be subjective. Someone can believe something to be true, but it's a lie. While reality's reality. There is only one reality, and there are tons of perspectives, but there's only one reality. So that's why I prefer the term reality. It's real or it isn't. It's not up for interpretation. But anyway, love you guys. It's a nice-ish day. It's in the 30s, but it feels like it's way warmer because nothing makes sense. But anyway, I love you guys. Have a beautiful day and God bless you.